Of course, that we all have different experiences in the same object. So I would like all of us share your experiences so we can learn from each other. And the subject of the consciousness and the content of consciousness is so vast. So from there, we can fulfill what is the mission from within us. So, who wants to go first now? Please.
I'm going to list all my experiences from the beginning until recently, and I can explain any of them in detail if need be. When I was about 13, when I was meditating, I started to notice that a certain thought would repeat itself over and over again. There would be many thoughts passing by, but one certain thought would keep coming back. So I started watching that thought and staring at it, and I noticed it would just dissolve. And then another thought would come, maybe a series of thoughts, and another one would become dominant and stick around. Then I'd watch that, and it too would dissolve. And then years later, I started doing it not just for thoughts, but emotions. And then it seems like emotions don't want to be seen. They kind of go deeper and deeper. Sometimes they split, and then they go deeper. But if I observe the emotion, the sensation in my body, it would kind of dissipate or disappear. I don't know what happens to it when it disappears. Does it come back again? Or if it comes back, maybe it's weaker. But I started doing this with all my emotions, especially the really heavy ones. And over the years, I feel like my emotions are not as strong as they used to be. And then more recently, when I'm meditating, I noticed I'm meditating. I'm counting my breathing, and I notice I'm sitting there counting my breathing simultaneously while counting my breathing. I'm noticing I'm doing it. Then I noticed I'm noticing. Then I notice I'm noticing I'm noticing. It's like I'm aware of aware. And I'm aware of being aware of being aware. And it's an infinite regress. And it was disturbing and confusing, but then finally there's just awareness. I don't count how many steps back I'm aware of awareness, and I'm just aware. And outside of meditation, I feel like if I experience an emotion, I'm just watching it, I'm less reactive, I make better choices. And as long as I watch the emotion, I don't get lost in it. If I'm lost in the emotion, I ruminate, I perpetuate it. The life cycle of the emotion extends longer than it should. But if I'm watching it, the emotion just sort of lives out its normal life cycle and goes away. And another one comes, and another one comes. That's if I'm mindful of it, if I'm aware of it. But most of the time I have no awareness.
Any input?
Well, I can't hear him that well, so I'm not exactly sure what he said. I mean, I was trying to listen, but...
I can hear him perfectly.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't.
It's about thoughts and emotions, count, you know.
And he was saying he was being aware of awareness and being aware of being aware of being aware. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Do you want to sit more towards the center? Easy to hear?
No, that's...
Oh, okay.
Because did you hear me? Was I speaking too quietly, Marcus?
Oh, no, I can hear you. Yeah, I can see you.
The first part is about thoughts and emotions. They come and go as they're supposed to be. So it's a very natural. As long as one, if you don't even if you don't. You're not mindful with it. They still come and go. For ordinary people or for a long time meditators, it happens the same thing. It's just the nature of the mind, which we said about thoughts and emotions. So they arise and they subside, and then the next one arises, subside, and the cycle keeps go on as long as we're still alive. They keeps coming back. They keep coming back and go. So, but the thing that you said that aware of the awareness, and then to be aware of the previous aware, and then the after aware, aware of the previous one. That is thought. That is thought. Awareness. There's only one awareness, which awares the object. And then I got stuck with that for a while until I found out that it just thoughts that made you think that okay, there is another layer after this. Actually it's not. It's just one layer with discursive thoughts. You thought that I'm aware, and then the other aware, which is awares the previous one. No, it's not. It's thought. And so because of the nature of the thought is that there is only one awareness. That's it. And then the thought right there. You're aware of the thought, and then you have another thought arise, thinking that there's another kind of awareness that awares the awareness right now. It just thoughts that arise. That's it. There is only one awareness. It's very tricky right there. I got stuck with it for quite a while until I found out that actually when we talk to the great masters, they will explain it very clearly that there's no such a thing. It's just one awareness. That's all. We thought that there are two awarenesses. The after awareness that awares the previous one. No, it's not. It's not. It's the thought that arises, which made us think that there is another aware, which awares the awareness. So right there, and that's why that when we meditate, we go down until we see that there are only two things: the consciousness and the content of the consciousness. That's it. And the content of the consciousness dances many different ways. And if we can catch it, and then we can see that this is the dance, the content of the consciousness. That's all. And the consciousness, which is we use it synonymously, awareness or consciousness. There's only one. So right there, look real careful, then we can find that out. It's just like the space. Take the space as an example. There's only one space. No matter how far it is, there's only one space. We thought that this space is different than the space outside of this building. No, it's not.
That brings me back to an earlier question. How do you know the difference between being aware and just thinking you're aware?
This is the one. This is the one that many meditators, they get lost at the second gate, I mean that I use the example of the first gate, we are aware. We're truly aware of the first gate when we enter, but when we enter the second gate, we lost it. So that's why that we have to be very careful to see what arises within the space of awareness.
So then my next question after that was, when I know I'm feeling an emotion and when I know I'm thinking thoughts, is that knowing just thinking or is it awareness?
No. That knowing is exactly just like right now. Right now, you're paying attention to what I'm talking about. Now, don't pay attention to what I'm talking about. Just go back to yourself. Go back to yourself. 100%. There is a vast emptiness right now, and there is awareness. That is consciousness. Right there. Right there. And then you can experience this one. You know, the mind is very tricky. That it does on its own investigation. It's doing on its own, analysis. And because of that, we get lost that. We thought that we are aware, but no, we get lost.
I spend most of my time lost. If I do get it, how do I keep it and not get lost?
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep going back. And my mantra is that knowing whatever arises, I do the soft knowing, and that knowing brings you back to the state of zero, empty, right there. Right now, most of us are not believing that when we don't have thoughts, when it is all empty, then right there, the emptiness, that empty but yet knowing, is our essential being, is the consciousness.
What is it when we do have these spaces and we're aware, but they're just, it's like, how do you go about extending those? Because when I get to that place, I'm just like, oh, I want to stay here. I have to stay here.
Right there, you got lost. Oh, I wanted to be there. That's
what do you do? How do you
just be
watch
aware.
it?
Just watch it, and then practice makes you go further and further. That's all. The more you understand, the more that you let go of the dance of the dance of the content of consciousness, and then you know that this is only the content of a consciousness, and right there, just like that. Okay, just like a 1, 2. The 1 and the 2 are the content of the consciousness. And then between the space of 1 and 2, I have a pause between 1 and 2. You recognize that? That pause is consciousness. And then before the 1, the consciousness is there already. Before the 2, the consciousness is there already too. It's just that the 1 appears, gone. 2 appears, gone. Consciousness is always there, very intimately. It's just that the nature of the mind that keep arising, and then we get lost in the arising of the mind. That's how.
And it also seems to me that, well, the nature of the body is to breathe. And then when you're meditating and you do breathe, it's just really hard for me not to have a thought right then.
Okay. Right there is the we call there are 5 layers. The most superficial one is the body, that we can feel it, and then the subtle plan, the more deeper layers of the breath. That when we breathe, sometimes we forget the body, but we just focus on the breathing. And then we go more deeper that we have the mind, which is thoughts and emotions. That's one but we still can feel, but we go a little deeper, which is the intelligence. Now, it's still part of the mind, but intelligence is very hard to grasp on, because of when, let's say that 2 plus 2, we know immediately is 4. That is intelligence working. That immediacy, 2 plus 2, you don't have to count, you don't have to do anything.
He's saving a bug's life.
Yes, I saw a spider. Yes. So immediately that you know it's 4, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any deep, analysis on what 2 plus 2 becomes 4. You just know it, and that is the intelligence. And then you come to the stop of the mind, stopping of the mind. The mind doesn't work anymore. You will hit the blankness. You hit the darkness. There's nothing. Just like you go deep in sleep, the mind stops working. So that's our steps. Go to deeper and deeper, and don't worry about the thinking. Because of it, the mind used to do such a thing, and this is how we experience our actual conscious living. As long as you are aware of that, and then very soon it will take you to a deeper experience that you're gonna discern which is the awareness, which is the dance of the awareness. Once we saw that, we're not confused, and we don't worry about what arises, what passing away anymore. So we keep watching, and then there's one more thing that I keep telling you, that you can use the kind of language to bring you back to the source, breathing and aware of breathing. When you do that, you don't get lost to your breath, but there is a conjunction, there is a separation between the awareness and your breath. And then you understand immediately that there are 2 simultaneously subjects, which is the awareness, and the object, which is the breath. We will come to that understanding, and that's wisdom.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Joseph, So do you still have this situation where you think you're aware, being aware, being aware, being aware? Or did that go away?
It kind of went away because I'm just, it just went away. There's just awareness. All that aware is like more like a game. It's just foolishness. And then it's just awareness of that.
I wasn't going to say that.
It's just aware of all that foolishness, but I'm still aware of all that
Oh,
foolishness.
no, there's no such thing as the foolishness because
Monkey chatter.
Those are the path that we have to go through. I think many of us, we go through that experiences until we find out all of those are a guideline for us to understand, because of even the great masters, they go through such a thing too. It's not only you.
I've never had the delusion that I'm aware of being aware of being aware of being aware. To me, it sounds very abnormal. And obviously, there's just one awareness. It's not like there are a bunch of little people inside of my head, and this one's aware of that one, aware of that one. It's just...
Now, we have to be careful with that because of, let's say that,
just my opinion.
The 5 watts light bulbs don't shine as bright as 100 watts light bulbs. The 100 watts, you see more clearly what's, from within than the 5 watts light bulbs. And this is what it is that at first we're aware, but our awareness, there's nothing wrong with awareness, but we don't get to see deeper inside the nature of phenomena. We don't see it so clear. Last week that we had a little bit discussion about the space and the molecular particles such and such. It doesn't matter how small the particles are, they are still working within the field of emptiness. Can you see that? And the field of emptiness, we can use that as an example of awareness. And if the awareness is that strong, we can actually feel that particle. This is very interesting. If that particle is out of the space, out of the field of awareness, then we have nothing to talk about. But everything happens from within the field of awareness. The only thing is that our mind are not trained sharp enough to perceive such things happening. So this is very interesting.
2 questions still about awareness. Okay, attention, and then attention. I've noticed, at least in my experience, that attention and concentration doesn't necessarily lead to bodhicitta. It doesn't necessarily lead to knowing. Because you can play chess for years and concentrate, and you can work on calculus problems or physics problems for years and years and hours, concentrated, so that you're not aware of what's going on around you. You're so concentrated and focused and paying attention, but that'll still not necessarily lead to awareness. I noticed that.
No. This is I think that's how we misconcept on this one. Okay, now this is an example for an exercise for everybody right now. You put your attention to your left ear. Listen to my voice with your left ear. Listen to my voice with your left ear. Now put your attention to the right ear. Listen to my voice to your right ear. Can you see the attention switch between the left and the right? Yes, exactly. You can see this tension that when I say that left, you listen to the left. Your attention shines toward the left ear. And then when I said that listen to the right ear, your attention shines to the right ear. So the attention switches place to place. So attention is not an awareness, but attention is part of the mind. And when it moves, you can feel it, you know it moves. So attention is an object too. So it's part, but very subtle. Only that if you have to pay attention to what's the movement of the tension, and then you can see it moves all over the places within the body.
Yes. Could you clarify what you were saying about the chess and the calculus? I didn't quite get the point.
Oh, attention. I think I understand what you said. Attention doesn't necessarily mean awareness, because you could be paying attention, not be aware you're paying attention. You could be paying attention to your left ear and then your right ear, and then you can be aware that you're doing that. You can be aware of your attention moving from one to the other. Or you can just move your attention left and right, never notice, and never be aware that you're moving your attention.
It's just because we get lost, we get lost ourselves into the attention. Just like that, having a nice meal. Having a nice meal, you get lost in yourself in a nice meal. Oh, it's so delicious, such and such. So you forget that you are aware of such a thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Right. Even attention itself is an object of awareness.
Yes.
You could be attentive for your whole life and never perceive it as an object of awareness.
Yes.
So attention, just paying attention will not necessarily lead to awareness. It's as if awareness is like a grace. It happens or it doesn't happen.
First of all, that we have to use the kind of language. If you never heard of consciousness before, then you never experienced the consciousness. But once you get hold of what consciousness is, and then gradually you understand it deeper what consciousness is. So once I say consciousness, you automatically know exactly what it is, and then you can turn yourself back into the ground zero right away. And for many people, ordinary people out there on the street, okay, what is consciousness? Oh, blah, 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 but they don't actually experience it. But it's still happening. Only that you really taste it.
Okay, I haven't got to my second question yet because another one just came up. This awareness, this knowing that you're talking about, it can come anytime, any place.
Oh no! That is a misconception. Awareness is awareness. It doesn't come. It doesn't go.
Yes.
It's always there. It's just like the space. We are in the space. The space doesn't go anywhere because the space is all pervasive. All pervasive. It's just like that. Thinking of a fish floating in the water, and the fish is asking, "Where's the water? When the water comes, when the water goes away," such a thing like that. But the water is all pervasive. Everywhere the fish go, it's all water.
Yes, language. What I mean is, the fish can realize the water anytime, any place, under any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story in the Dhammapada about this person who was illiterate. He couldn't remember anything, and the Buddha gave him a task to just sweep the floor, sweep the floor, sweep, and then he became enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't using mantras, he wasn't counting his breath, he wasn't watching his breathing, he was just sweeping, and then, ta-da, the fish noticed the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I meant. It can just happen. It doesn't have to happen through meditation.
Okay. You meant in such a way. Yes. Because of It doesn't matter what kind of koan you're doing, or it doesn't matter that what kind of an object you attend to. When the right time comes, you understand the complete emptiness, but yet the quality of knowing is there. And right there you can claim yourself as enlightenment. The word enlightenment is rather simple, that it's not a special mental state or anything else, but recognize that there is the essential being that we recognize, and that's it. That is enlightenment.
My last question. Sorry.
I don't know, it's okay.
This knowing that you're talking about, does it lead to more positive experiences in our daily lives?
It's there has to be the knowing and the wisdom. Otherwise, we get lost. We get straight to annihilation very easily, and that's why that the experienced meditator say, I would rather teach you to do compassion instead of you understand the emptiness in the wrong way is very dangerous, and so it always gets you to the positive mental state instead. But as we go into the nature of the mind, we can see that the neutral mental faculties, let's say that an intention and attention, it has nothing to do with the right and the wrong. It just attends. But a thief uses intention and attention in the wrong way, while a monk uses intention and attention on the right way. So intention and attention are just a neutral mental faculties. That's all. You intend your intention on the unwholesome path, then it goes toward unwholesome path. Or your intention to go to the wholesome path, then it goes to wholesome path. So intention and attention, and then right there, that's why we have a discernment that makes sure that we go in the right direction.
If I practice metta meditation or loving kindness towards people I work with, to the place I work in and the people around, is that a wholesome intention?
This is a wholesome intention. Yes, because of it brings benefit to mankind, and that's why that they always encourage that they always have a wisdom instead.
So it's a good desire, it's not considered a bad craving?
The desires, okay, the Saxonym contemporary Zen master, Korean Zen master said that we have to go beyond the right and wrong. But yet we have to act. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. So in the way that we understand the liberation is that right and wrong has no place with the consciousness. But we have to act just like that. We all have families. Suppose that someone breaks in and then threatens your loved ones. And then you are Zen master. Oh, I'm a Zen master. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to act anything because I understand the emptiness. That is wrong. That is completely wrong. We have to act in accordingly.
It's non-attachment, but you change your tire when you have a flat.
Yes. When we're hungry, we eat. It's just a normal day in life that we do, but we don't attach to it. Yeah. Please.
I have some other questions, but I'd really like to hear from Michael or Marcus or Lady. I'd really rather hear somebody else talk.
Yeah, I could go. When I'm meditating, I try to focus on my breath and just when thoughts come up, which they always do, and I just let them pass by. Sometimes they're very rapid, but I notice that I try to return back to the breath, and over the span of my meditation, usually I find that the thoughts are less rapid, and I can get where it's just a little slower, and it's not huge improvement, but even that feels really good. Usually it's towards the end.
Yes.
not the beginning.
That's why our great Zen master, he encouraged us to sit for a long time because of, let's say that an hour and a half, the first hours, we are struggling to subside the thoughts. But as it goes on, the mind gets, I think that this is my way of explanation. The thought gets tired of itself thinking. So it subsides itself for less thinking. So toward the end, the mind becomes more calm and calm and calm.
Just to comment on that, I experienced the same thing. The teacher who taught me how to meditate always said, when thoughts have no attention to feed on, they go away. And for me, in the beginning, it was a struggle, but towards the end, they just sort of naturally settle down to their natural. And then there's just the quiet, but I'm aware it's quiet, and it's pleasant. But it's always like Michael said, in the beginning, thoughts are all over like fireworks continuously.
Yes.
And towards the end, there's just a few fizzle pops here and there.
Yeah, what's his name? Chris. He has a very nice example that a popcorn bag when you put it in the microwave. Yeah, first it pops everywhere, but at the very end, there's a few pop, 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 just like that. But beware that we don't get attached to the suffering of so many thoughts arising. No, it just, we understand that this is the nature of the thoughts, the nature of the mind. That's all. And there are so many techniques. One technique, you are using one with an object concentration. You go back to your breath. You might pause your way and then you go back to your breath. Might pause your way, you go back to your breath. This is one way. Another way is that you just completely let go. Completely let go, but yet still aware, just like that, just like a wild horse would, we tie it with a long string, with a very long string. However the horse gallops, it jumps, do whatever it wants to, but it's still from within the boundary of the string, which tied to the post. So it can go whatever it is, but we're aware of it, and we don't. We allow it goes, but without attaching to it. And then in that state, it's just like when you're watching a movie without paying attention to the movie. And it's very relaxing, extremely relaxing. Yeah, that's one way.
But then the next day, if I don't get to that relaxed state, I get frustrated.
then be aware of your frustration.
Yeah,
When-
don't get frustrated.
No. It's okay to be frustrated because of the nature of the mind is like that. We cannot help, avoiding the frustration. We cannot help avoiding happiness. Why you want happiness? Then frustration, that's unfair. So happiness is part of the mind. Frustration is part of the mind. It doesn't matter what comes. We're just aware. We just don't get attached
Go
to
ahead,
it.
Marcus.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of Dharma talks mentioned that, I can't remember, is it Chitta and Bodhicitta? No, it's Tanha, Bhavi Tanha or something. So motivation and desire. So be motivated to sit and meditate. But remember that don't let desire take it, that you want to have,
Experiences.
awareness. Awareness will come on its own. Yeah. So that, those are two things that they remind you. We all have that struggle too, like they said. So, when you have it and it's great, in some places, there's even a story where this one student asked the Buddha, to go. He had to ask 3 times to go to this place where he think it'd be a perfect place to meditate. So, asked the Buddha 3 times. When he went there, and then when he came back, the Buddha asked him, "So how was your meditation?" He goes, "Not so good." Because expectation, right? This is the perfect serene spot. We should have utmost, awareness and the best spot to meditate. And it wasn't, because it's expectation. So it's just certain days you naturally, just like certain days you don't expect to have a good sit. You go like, "Oh man, today's been a tough day," or "My mind's going to wander." And suddenly you sit and it's like, "Wow, calm and peace." That's what your body needed. But sometimes when you have it, it's been a good day, and now you're expecting, okay, now I expect today was a very good day, and today should be a really good sitting meditation. And it's not, because it will be when you need it to be. So, yeah.
You see that we're missing the point too, right there. We have missed the expectation. If we saw the expectation, then our meditation is 100% complete because of the expectation arised, and we did not aware of that. And right there we get lost. But if it doesn't matter what mental state one is in, as long as one is aware, we don't identify ourselves to the mental states, then that is perfect meditation. Perfect meditation, especially with the expectation. It's a very, very deep level of agitation.
I would suggest the unrealistic expectation. Unrealistic. The expectation is too high. It's not in contact with reality.
Well, just be aware of the expectation, and that's it. Right there, we are aware of this is an expectation. Then everything stops right there. It's rather kind of easy if we can catch it, and that's why I say that awareness. If we are a 1,000 volts light bulbs, then we can see everything. We can see every little movement of the mind, and then another thing arises, and if we see that, we don't get attached to whatever it is, then that is a perfect meditation. Perfect meditation doesn't mean that you sit down and then you go into the blissfulness. You go into the emptiness, the calm mind. No, it's not like that. The perfect meditation is that whatever arises, we know that is perfect meditation.
I really don't know how to articulate this question. I googled hormones, meditation, and then neurologically or scientifically, it listed all these endorphins and hormones that flood from our brain into our system when we meditate. Dopamine, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all these endorphins that it's a cocktail of feel-good endorphins that flood you and make you feel good when you meditate. Buddhism, that's not the same as experiencing those chemicals, or it's not the same as wisdom, is it?
Dr. Something, I forget his name.
Kabat-Zinn? Davidson?
No, he's bald-headed.
The French
With the beard?
Buddhist monk?
No beard.
Oh, Wayne Dyer?
Wayne Dyer. Yes, Wayne Dyer. He emphasized a lot on such a thing. But if we are mistaken that such a thing brings about the awareness and then the mind, then we have a great debate between the materialism and idealism, which want to produce the mind, such a thing like that one. So the thing is that it doesn't matter. The experience of what is going on counts. Remember, the experience of what going on counts instead of what's going on. We get attached to it. That's the two different states. And if in that case, and then you smoking hype can bring you to a level of so.
So these endorphins, that's just phenomena that arise and pass away.
It's conditional arising, and then if you know that this is conditional arising, then we know that the awareness that aware such a thing, then we go back to our ground zero, which is the awareness. Instead of relying on such a thing, instead of identifying ourselves with such a thing, serotonin,
The pleasantness of those experiences.
Yes. Wayne Dye's, emphasizing a lot on that. Yes.
Yeah, I did have a question, but I wonder, is there anything you wanted to say, or?
Or ask?
Long experiences, long time ago. I start with I know nothing. Blank. I don't believe in the. I'm from Thailand, so we have the meditation over there,
Right.
and it start with I want to prove something, and I be challenged to prove 3 things, and then okay, I'll try. What should I do? Just pray. Just pray. Wear the white robe. After once a week, clean up and took a shower, and then pray. And then put the water glass in there, and then it will help your father. And you want to move to another section. I used to work at Thai Red Cross, and then the other one, I want to further my master degree, and 3 things. So I want to prove. Actually, he challenged me, so I once a week praying. That's it. Okay. I don't believe, so I pray every day. I pray every day, and the way that I try to help my father go down to the hell, and because he's not the good father.
What about your father going to hell?
Well, he's cheating. It's
Did you pray that he goes down to hell, or what?
yeah. So that's why the medium, it's Hindu medium, challenged me. If you want to help your father go to hell, okay, put the water in, and then after you pray, you touch drink everything. So so, and how long to help him? 2 years. And oh no, I can't stay that long. So I make my thesis. Okay, I'm gonna pray every day, and then it should be something that's stronger, like go to the temple. I don't know anything. I just take the bus and then to the end of the route. Where should I go? And got the nun told me that one temple. Oh, don't go over here. Go another one. But you have to take the boat. It's in the seclusive, it's not like a jungle. It's northern part of Thailand. You would have to travel by boat.
Was it a Hindu temple or a Buddhist temple?
No Buddhist. The Hindu told me to pray. I asked her, what should I pray? Pray Buddhist. Pray whatever. Oh, okay, I find a book and then I pray everything. When the time passed, I decided I'll go to the temple. And I had 2 big bags so that I have everything. The pillow, the blanket, once in there, they teach simple, stay simple, nothing. People think I will stay like 2 months. I say, no, I don't know. And one is in there, just only the mat. And that's it, the mat. I start with they have meditation over there, and 15 minutes is like my life is miserable. They have 1 hour, and then turn off the light at 7 o'clock. After pray, a long, like 1 hour pray, and then turn off the light. The monk put the robe on, and I have to accept the five rules, and wear the white robe over there. I just concentrate, and everybody put it up because the mosquito, and it's like it's scary.
They put on a net to keep the mosquitoes off?
No. The monk had the yellow robe and then cover, and then I look around, oh my God. So, but I forced myself to meditate. 15 minutes, I open my eyes, and then it's too hard. So I concentrate on helping cleaning, in the temple. And then meditation they always have at 7 o'clock, and at night after prayer at around 8 o'clock. So one day I will sit and meditate. I meditate 1 hour. I feel like I'm moving like this, and then I open my eyes. Oh no. And then that monk, tomorrow I'm gonna ask him what's going on with me. I asked the people around me, did I move? They don't know. And I can feel like I'm like this. So the next day I find the monk that teach meditation at that night. And he said, oh, if you move, don't worry, just concentrate inside on the breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. That's it. And it's not clear. And he said that if you go home, just practice. I never practice because I don't want to feel that. So every time, and then every weekend, I will go to the temple and spend weekend over there, wear the white robe, and then start to meditate 1 hour, sit without moving. And then one night, that year passed, I believe, I sit, and then I feel like I was asleep, but it go down like this and then go up. It was bright in front, and I feel like I know that I'm here, and I see the bright, but this thing, the brain, there's nothing there. But I'm not sure I can use the word of awareness. It's like the bright in front, and then sit there. I can't believe I sit there like 5 hours without moving. And my friends, both of them, one is my my friend from the college, the other one at work, they're here with me. And then they keep moving because, but they see me sit like 5 hours. I can't believe that I can do that. And then, 3 things happened. My father at that time, he changed. He prayed, he started. But when the time passed, I go to Australia and scholarship and come back and then been promoted. And then I found my husband online. I work at I'm an acting chief of IT section, just brand new, just the thought from the princess, and then we make it happen. 3 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people we created. And then I met my husband, so I decided to come to America, and then passed away. I struggled, and then I met another gentleman, his friend, and 20 years later he just passed away on Monday. So that's why I come here and want to ask the master that what should I want to make a merit to him.
Are you saying your husband passed away?
The first one
Yeah.
passed away. The second one we haven't married, but
You have not married.
together 20 years.
Yeah. All right.
He disabled, and I took care of him like 10 years.
So the question is that we want to help the
Yes. So I'll come
passed
back
away.
here and we want to donate money. And what should I come tomorrow? Normally we offer the food, right? And then the monk pray. So I haven't been here for a long time.
I spent some time in Thailand too, so I understand the cultures a little bit.
Thailand, yes.
Yes. But to me, I practice in a scientific way.
Mm-hmm.
I totally don't believe in superstition because I have my own reason for that. Secondly, that each of us takes our own karma. Whatever we did, then we have to repay for it. There is no external help that can help. So let's say that we come to the temple, we ask the monk to pray, to help, transferring the consciousness, transferring into the better realm. Let's say that we go back to the Buddha's time. Same thing happened. And Moggallana, I think Moggallana, that Moggallana's mom that passed away and went to a very bad, woeful realm, and then he wanted to help, even though that he attained the most super psychic power, but he could not help. He could not help at all. So he went to the Buddha, and the Buddha taught that, okay, now collect 1,200 monks, arahants, monk, and then help praying. That might help. Now, 1,200 arahant monks to help one being. Remember arahant. Nowadays, can we find an arahant? No, there's no way we can find that because we are all ordinary monks. I have to admit that we all have our impurities. So with that impurities, we cannot help. First. Second thing is that in scientific ways that in which way that we can communicate with that different realm. In this realm, we can communicate because of we have the brain, we have this body as an agent for the mind to manifest. In the different realms, there is no body. There is no such body working as an agent. So when we pray, using this body as an agent, then how can we transfer the message to another realm? It's very scientific, very scientific. So the thing is that the only thing that I can think of is that you, the loved one, who can actually do it by being mindful. When you act, you speak, you walk with your mindfulness. That purity of your actions becomes some kind of power, and with that purity, I think that you can transfer, you can send that. Like earlier that we were talking about the compassion, loving kindness. Then we can transfer that energy toward your loved one. That would be more appropriate. That would be more helpful instead of using offering this, offering that, and asking for somebody else doing it. It's not essential.
That is my intention also. I pledge
Your
that
intention
I will
is,
pray
yes,
and
yes,
meditate
is more
every day.
appropriate
Yes.
instead of someone else doing it. And in this way, I hope that your loved one in the other realm can perceive of what you're doing here. Yeah. So that's what I would, because of I myself, there are a lot of such a thing over here, and okay, the duty of the monk is that, okay, they're gonna do it, but it's not good. It's evidently that, okay, you asked me to do it, and then I'll do it, but I don't know, because I'm so impure myself, and then you rely on my impurity to help transferring the consciousness to someone else, to some other realm. Then it's not gonna work. You yourself have to do it, because of being mindful produces the purity, positive energy. Use that purified positive energy, then transfer that to your loved one.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is great. I hope that we do it more often. May this merit be benefit to your loved one. Hopefully that your loved one will overcome the difficulties in other realms and reborn in a better realm. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your blessing.